I also believe so deeply and have very personal experience with the power of doing things in community, navigating through a transformation in community. That is huge, and it's a massive value add that people forget about and even resist stepping into because they've had bad experiences. So that is one thing. We're up against the bad rap that some of these types of offers have gotten in the past. But I firmly believe there is absolutely space for those of us who are doing work and doing business with integrity and have our clients' best interests in mind to change that conversation, to change that narrative, and to change that reality.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Online Creator Podcast. My name is Kim, your podcast host, business mentor, and audio storyteller. This show is a space to inspire through conversations and community to help us keep connected, keep inspired, and keep moving towards our goals. Expect to hear honest conversations and real-life experiences from entrepreneurs at every stage of business and from a wide range of industries. Find your confidence, see what is possible, and build the legacy that you have dreamed of. Let's get started. Hi, AnnMarie. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
I am so excited to be here, Kim.
Yes, we were just chatting before we hit record, and we've followed in the same circles for a while, and I love the opportunity that this podcast gives to be able to network with people, and it feels like you're just going to a coffee shop. So I hope this conversation has that feel and vibe, and I'm so looking forward to digging into what you do in more detail. But before we get started, please introduce who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Like you said, I'm AnnMarie Rose. I am an online business strategist. I really specialize in helping service-based business owners, coaches, consultants, online service providers who are entering scaling mode. So you've been through startup, you've done the gritting your teeth and growing a client base and figuring out what the heck you're good at that you can make money doing. And now you're ready to do it with more spaciousness, make a greater impact, and of course, increase your revenue. And that's where I come in and really help you to optimize your business model so that you can do that and do that in a way that is supportive of your strengths, how you're hardwired for success, your season of life. So optimizing your offers, bringing new offers into the mix, releasing old ones that are no longer serving you, and then streamlining everything else from the marketing and sales system to even supporting in the guidance, at least, of the behind the scenes operations and hiring as well. So really comprehensive approach because it's needed. And it's nice to have somebody who has your back and knows you and knows your business when you're moving through a season that can be very scary.
Yeah. And I also think we hold our own selves back. And I'm sure you see that tons working with clients. And that's why clients reach out to you because we are, our own worst enemy in so many ways. And we'll research everything and we'll just dabble a little bit instead of diving right in. So yeah, I think there's so much that you said there that I can't wait to dig into. But let's just get into when do you know you're ready to scale your business? Because I think that's the other piece is just even where do you even begin and when do you know it's the right time?
What I can tell you is where most of my clients come to me because there's a number of different ways. I would say you're not ready to scale. It's almost easier for me to tell you when you're not ready to scale. You're not ready to scale if you're still figuring out what you want to be known for offering. Now, I don't mean, you have a marketing agency and you're not sure if you want to specialize in, a particular platform. Marketing, figuring out you're good with being known for marketing, that's enough, right? So you're not ready when you're at that point and you're testing and trialing tons of different offers and different niches and customizing a lot of things for different clients who come your way. That's not the time when you'd want to scale because the first questions we'd ask is, what are we scaling here? So you are in a more suitable place to scale when you've gotten some traction in a particular industry niche around a particular topic. It might be your approach that you're taking, and you've built up a solid client base to where you're able to pay yourself, and you are ready to, usually, most of my clients come to me at a point where they're feeling pretty stretched thin. So they are struggling to find the time to work on the business at all. So sometimes it can take them a while to even approach me or have a conversation with me about navigating through that season because the question they're asking themselves is, when and how, and also when. Like, when am I going to do that? How do I begin to do this? And when the heck am I going to have the time to actually make these changes in the business? And they're scary. So maybe I'll just hang out here for a little bit longer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that a lot of people that I talk to in networking calls that are, we've been in the business for a few years now and we're kind of itching to to see what's possible because I
Mm,
don't know about you, but as I'm aging, my time is the most valuable asset I have, and it is worth a lot.
yep.
And so when we do a lot of service-based business work and it takes a lot of time and energy to do that kind of work. How do you think about one to many? And can we even talk about that approach versus the one-on-one?
Absolutely. I happen to love the one-to-many approach, and I love, love, love working with service providers specifically to bring this into their business. Not that they have to completely retire all one-to-one offerings. There is certainly a time and a place for those, and I have plenty of clients who have a hybrid-based business model. But the beautiful thing about the one-to-many approach, and I just want to give this a little bit of a caveat that I think sometimes one-to-many, especially now, has gotten a bit of a bad rap because there are so many highly skilled marketers out there who realized I can just market the crap out of basically whatever and sell it. And I'm going to throw some Facebook Live recordings into a learning management system. And we're going to call it a group program. And I'm going to tell you an outcome you're going to get. And we'll call it a day and wash your hands clean of it. So there's this perception that one-to-many doesn't deliver results. One-to-many lacks substance. And that's not true. And especially if you're someone who had those thoughts in your head, maybe when you click to listen to this episode, it reminds me of how my most organized clients are the ones who say to me, I need to get more organized. That probably, you're not going to create an offer it's not in your bones to create an offer like that. It's in your bones to create an offer that actually gets people results. So I love the one-to-many approach for a number of reasons. One, makes your genius more accessible to more people. Typically, you're going to be able to provide a one-to-many type of an offer at a slightly lower price point than what you would charge, again, for your very most valuable asset, which is time. And of course, a one-to-many offer, I have a number of structures that I help my clients create that still requires time on your end, but it's less. You get to leverage your time in that instance. I also believe so deeply and have very personal experience with the power of doing things in community, navigating through a transformation in community. That is huge, and it's a massive value add that people forget about and even resist stepping into because they've had bad experiences. So that is one thing. We're up against the bad rap that some of these types of offers have gotten in the past. But I firmly believe there is absolutely space for those of us who are doing work and doing business with integrity and have our clients' best interests in mind to change that conversation, to change that narrative, and to change that reality.
Yes. Yes. I think a lot of us have tried. We've joined programs. We've joined courses. We've tried all the things because we want to learn and grow ourselves. And then we're also looking at seeing what other people are doing and what works and what doesn't, or what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And we know what those group programs look like that aren't working, aren't doing it for us. There's a few things that you said in there as well. And like the whole integrity and value piece, that really matters. And I know personally right now I'm in a membership that you learn, but you also are way more a part of a group. Like, I
Mm,
think they enrolled maybe 25 people last year and only 25 people this year so far. So it's a small group
yeah,
versus I've been in the other ones where, they do releases once a quarter for a sale and they get like hundreds of people enter the space, but there's no community there. There's no
right,
follow up. There's no you get the information and you were left there trying to figure it out. Even though there's community, it doesn't feel the same.
right.
So I do believe that quality over quantity, 100%. And I'm sure you probably see that with the clients that you work with, whatever offer you do decide to go with and do decide to put out, that should absolutely be what's important with how you want to be known, how you want to serve, all of those good things, because yeah, it really does matter. And those are going to be, you're going to attract the people too, right? That are the right fit, because the smaller group, oh my God, I'm learning so much. It's insane. And it's like blowing my socks off. I can't even believe it. And I was
Totally.
like literally at the point where I was just going to be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, this is crazy, right? So, what other things should you take into consideration when you're looking at pivoting, scaling, looking at this one to many model? Because I know you have a different approach to that as well. And I love this piece.
Yeah, I love to ground in with my clients and really map out how they're hardwired for success. And I use a number of personality frameworks to help do that. They're not hard and fast rules, but they give helpful clues as to what types of offers and delivery of said offers could be right for you. And what this does is it prevents the burnout that happens when you're facilitating an offer, delivering on an offer that's not right for you, that is work has you working against yourself. So for example, I have certain clients who really prefer a lot of context to answer a question and to give that on the spot feedback. So for them, if they're facilitating a group offer or they're doing a course experience, and I define the difference as a course experience is more 80% kind of learning and curriculum driven, 20% support component, and a group program is the reverse. It's more 80% support driven, 20% there might be some curriculum and resources that ground the experience. So if they're delivering an offer like that, or providing some, coaching in their membership, and they're coming to a membership of, say, 100 people, and somebody's giving a quick question and they don't have much context for that person's business, because there's a time and a place, right, for higher volume type of offers. But if they don't have a lot of context and there's someone who prefers that, they may feel a little off guard or feel a little bit like they're just scratching the surface, and that might not be as fulfilling for them. Where what they could do is they could include a form that is just, a simple form that's, hey, if you want support on this upcoming call, submit X, Y, and Z, or any type of preliminary thing that's going to give them the context they need. That's just a very simple, straightforward example that I can give that is for someone who would prefer more context. And then there's people who love the on the fly, give me the in the moment, like, I want to come at you with fresh ideas. Don't give me a whole lot of explanation. And that's perfect too. That's amazing. And they're going to be your clients are going to be attracted to you because of your strengths. If you lean into them, you're going to be appreciated and celebrated for them.
Yeah, for sure. People definitely know and can feel when your energy is there, like in what kind of structure. Okay, so I find this super fascinating. You work with clients to figure out how they feel most comfortable with their personality. Now,
Yeah.
let's say you figured it out. You're like, okay, yeah, a group program works best for your personality, or like, let's go with that.
Yeah.
How do you work with them to market that type of offer as well? Because that has to be a part of that personality piece as well, because not everybody is great doing lives. Not everybody feels comfortable doing on camera type promotions. How do you work with them through that hurdle? Because that's a huge piece to all of this.
Yep. And really, it's kind of that saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in the beginning, I provide really, for my longer term consulting clients, I'm providing really deep support through pretty much every aspect of their business. I am all up in the weeds with them. And we are consistently coming back to what I call their inner success hardwiring. It, the combination of certain elements of their personality type, their season of life, all the things that are just going to support the highest and best version of them. So when I don't care if we're talking about developing the offer, marketing the offer, the sales mechanism that's going to sell the offer, how the offer gets delivered and clients get nurtured and moved into new offers, all of the team pulled in to support with the offer, all of it, we're coming back to, is this supporting how you're hardwired for success? Like, time
Yeah.
and time and time again. So my person who is very extroverted like me, and it's very easy for them to hop on Instagram stories and share a quick back and forth or host some connection calls. I'm not going to necessarily recommend to them that they create a long form blog post series to launch their offer. where they've
Right.
got to spend hours behind the scenes by themselves researching and pulling together content on, on their own. And this is, I'm almost speaking to myself, that would be incredibly draining to me. And I would
Mhm.
not be excited to do it. And I would not be motivated to do it.
Right.
But you tell me, okay, find 5 people who have a related expertise that's not the same expertise, but related. So, for example, a mindset coach who helps business owners who are in scaling mode, something like that.
Mhm.
And do a co-hosted live with that person to get the word out about your offer, give them a 10% affiliate fee if anybody from their audience comes in.
Absolutely.
That, I can do that all day.
Yeah.
No problem. So I'm using myself as an example, but of course, I have clients that this applies to, or the reverse applies, where the person really would prefer to do most of the marketing behind the scenes. For them, we might be talking ad, we might be talking blog post series. It totally depends on the person. But what I know is when we do marketing in a way that is supportive to how you're hardwired for success, it works 1,000 times better.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're not fighting the uphill battle. Like you're not constantly climbing and you're not constantly dropping. Because I know I've worked with clients in the past that, they thought podcasting they'd monetize within like 7 episodes and like everything would just fall into place. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't even have like a following yet.
Right.
Like, there's
And
so
that's
many pieces to it.
exactly. And that's why flexible strategy is so important, because every type of marketing and tactic and that has another thing, is that, someone will be like, podcasting is a strategy to launch your offer. Well, podcasting is a tactic that should be part of a marketing strategy, because there's reach, there's engagement, and then there's conversion that needs to happen. So there's multiple layers, and we can't, unfortunately for those of us with very lean teams, you usually can't quite get away with just one. It's not, I don't want to say never, because there's exceptions to every rule, but you usually want to have a diversified enough approach that you've got a strategy to accomplish each of those: the awareness, the engagement, and the conversion. And it's entirely possible to accomplish all 3 of those in a way that feels really supportive to you.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at it from a bit of a larger lens, because it's not just one way to, I always say there's always like a back door. If the
Yes.
front door's locked, go to the back door, go to the side door. There's always so many different ways to approach things in business. And there's so many amazing opportunities now, because like I always preach that podcasting isn't for everyone, but audio can be and should be a part of your business plan in some way. Because there's so many different ways you can use it. And I know you do that in your business. Let's lean into that a little. Like, how do you use private audio feeds to support and elevate your offers and what you do?
Okay, so I love this question, because there's one thing that I do that almost it's a continuation of your previous question. One marketing mechanism that is sort of a hybrid marketing sales mechanism that I know works really well, because I've been doing it for years and generated $500,000 doing it, and help my clients do that. And that is hosting paid workshops to sell your offers on the back end. And I love, love, love doing this. My favorite way to do it. It works for pretty much every personality type out there, every season of life out there. I've been able to help them leverage workshops in a way that works for them. And pairing private audio, with that experience, either on the front end or the back end, can be a really, really powerful way to enhance the experience overall, so that the experience itself is incredibly valuable and absolutely worth paying for, regardless of that they decide to buy the thing on the back end. That's what makes my approach different than, your traditional webinar strategy, where you're signing up to hear a pitch. You might get a one aha here and there, but you're signing up to hear. A workshop, that in the way that I do it and teach it, is really an experience all in itself. That's almost like a mini offer. So what I do in that instance, for a number of my different workshops, I can't remember off the top of my head if we do this for all of them, but a lot of time we have a private podcast feed on the front end that walks people through a visioning exercise, because everything I do starts with vision. That's the other piece. Your stuff needs, anything offers, all the things need to be aligned with both how you're hardwired for success and where you want to go. Because that's our filter for absolutely every decision we make in the business. So I need you to come to even my workshops with deeper clarity around your vision. And I don't want to take 20 minutes during the workshop to walk you through a visioning exercise. So I include it as part of the workshop experience. Hey, subscribe to grab this private audio, and I'm going to walk you through this visioning exercise. Pop me in your ears, grab your journal. We're going to do this so you come to the workshop with greater clarity that can act as a filter as we're making decisions and getting some things done during the workshop experience.
So cool. I'm sitting over here like nodding. I have to hit mute so that I don't interrupt you because when people do it right, it's amazing. It's such a low lift way to create lead magnets and to experiment with lead magnets in a way that you can, once you get past the, hearing your own voice and how do you record and, the production piece, which can be very minimal compared to video. Like, it's just such a fun tool to really elevate how to get into your world. So I love that you work with it in your own business and that you support your clients in using audio as this unique, really amazing tool, because it really can set you apart, and it's completely different than just, here's a checklist. Download this PDF.
Definitely. I posted something the other day that was like, remember when we all thought we could make checklists and a 5-part email series and then, post it to our 200 followers that we had back in the day and grow our $1 million business overnight. That was cute.
That was so cute. So cute. Yeah. Imagine this, a customized website design that is as unique as you are and done in 1 week. Think of us as your in-house website designer. We offer a semi-custom show-it website design that is ideal for the established coach, creative, online business owner who is ready to create a presence online and is ready to take action quickly. We build out a layout that nurtures your visitors, SEO best practices to help you get ranked in Google, development of 5+ pages to drive traffic, and training and launch support so that you can update your website after our time is done. You have the choice. You can keep spinning your wheels and flying by the seat of your pants, or you can have a strategically designed website that allows you to connect and convert, because that is what your business deserves. If you're interested in learning more, check out the link in the show notes to see if Website in a Week is the right fit for you. So I love that you do all of that good stuff. Now, I like also, you kind of alluded to the successes that you have accomplished in your business so far. Can you tell us like when kind of the time frame of when you had that aha in your own business to realize that maybe this wasn't working for you and you had to switch it, and now to where you are now helping others do the same thing? Because I think it's amazing that you were self-aware enough to be like, this isn't working in my life, and where you are today.
Yeah. So way back in the day, like early stages, 7 years ago, I was doing a lot of done for you content marketing services for clients. And so that meant a lot of time behind my computer screen doing, writing podcast show notes, writing blogs, creating ebooks, all the things so that I didn't have to have a boss, basically, right? I just wanted to work for myself and have some great clients. And what I realized very quickly through that experience was, 1, the work itself was draining me, and 2, that many of my clients were missing the clear vision and knowing how they were hardwired for success. So they were working against themselves constantly, and I could see it. But because that's not what they hired me to help them with, they didn't love my, probably at that stage, not so gentle nudges for them to get clear on those things. So I realized, I'm just the type of person that when I realized, to me, that felt out of integrity, that they were marketing. I was helping them do all this marketing that was growing for some of them multi-million dollar companies that were burning them out. Some of them going to the hospital with panic attacks. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, perpetuating burnout for these people. So I realized, okay, people actually need help with that deeper strategic work that is going to set the tone for all of the marketing they're going to do, that's going to craft the offers that actually support them and support their clients in an incredible way. So that evolved into business strategy over time. Took me longer than it now takes my clients, because when you come from being a done-for-you service provider, there's always this, but are people actually going to pay me if I'm just providing the guidance and direction? Comes up for everybody. I laugh now when I hear it from people, not because I know how long I've stayed in that headspace and refused to let go of the done for you. Yeah. I have some funny stories I could share about that, but in the interest of time, I'll keep this brief. So I went ahead and created consulting packages, finally let go of the direct service, behind the scenes service delivery, and then realized that people needed, I had a lot of calls booked on my calendar for people really when the pandemic happened, being like, I was dabbling in this online thing and now I really need to work for me. Um, and so I knew I was going to have a group at some point because I like facilitating in a group setting, but I didn't necessarily anticipate for it to happen then, but just based on the number of calls. And I knew that I wanted something scalable because I wanted to have a family one day. I was working a lot with my one-to-one clients. I mean, there'd be days where I was booked with calls from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable with a family. So I piloted the group program that still exists today. It's called Elevate and Impact. And that I piloted it with 3 people and fell in love with it. It's since had multiple facelifts and iterations and refinements, and I'm still in love with it. It gets even better results because my skills have gotten even better. And that's really how that evolved. And in 2021 is when I first tested out selling with workshops to scale my sales process and build trust with clients much faster, provide something of value, and just be able to call in more of those right fit clients without it requiring them seeing 30 Instagram reels from me to want to reach out.
And what has that meant for your family and for your life to
Oh my
be able to
goodness.
have this business operate in this way versus where you were?
It The first word that comes to mind is just everything. It has meant everything. You're probably gonna make me cry, but in 2020, beginning of 2021 or 2022? I can't remember now, but it was before my son was born that I went to a 4-day work week. And that was like the best thing ever. And I
Right?
still implement that. Well, now what that allows me is wiggle room. So if I have a day like I did yesterday, where we had something happen with childcare, we only had half day. My head was all over the place for a number of reasons yesterday. So I know I have some wiggle room tomorrow if I need it. We're
So
recording this on a
amazing.
Thursday. And I get my son's whole first year of life, he was at home with us. We were tag teaming the parenting responsibilities, and we really wanted that. And I had the flexibility to be able to do that. Now that he's in toddler mode, I'm very happy for him to have fantastic childcare. We do a nanny share with, local family that we love. And it's great for him, great for us that I get that focused time. But I can get pretty much everything I need to do done in about 3 days a week. So
Oh,
it,
that's so cool and so relatable because there's so many things that you said there, even when you were talking about the start of your business, just really not wanting a boss and wanting to work for yourself. I think
mhm.
everybody that's listening can relate to that. And also, if I know anything from parenting to now young adult children, is that life with kids and a family is so unpredictable.
Mhm.
Your day to day changes in a heartbeat, and your time with them is, again, like, you will never be able to get that time back. So if
Nope.
you can do something that creates an opportunity for you to have flexibility and adaptability, all of those things that you can, you know, cherish and spend that time with those that you love, and also keep the energy for you. Because usually at the end of the day, what do you have left in the tank? So if you could create a business that had a scalable offer that actually was sustainable and that grew with you throughout the seasons of life, how amazing. How
Yep. And
amazing.
that's honestly the thing I'm like most proud of having done, because I started I call it my soulmate scalable offer, and I help people create these. And I started my soulmate scalable offer 2 years before I piloted it 2 years before my son was born. And now it's grew with me through pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it was amazing after postpartum, because I could take a maternity leave, because I was able to, it wasn't like I had to replace all this or find somebody to cover service delivery or pause clients entirely. I was able to bring in some guest support options, people that my people had been introduced to before through guest expert trainings and things like that, to kind
Absolutely.
of to fill in the gaps. And it was almost like they got all this amazing bonus
For
support,
sure.
and I got to take some time for myself. It was much easier to fill in those gaps than had I had an entire one-to-one business model or entirely, directly done for you service providing. So that's another bit that
No,
it could just
so
grow with you and you can modify things for whatever's coming up in your life.
right. And that's so important and so valuable. Two things as we are wrapping up. If someone is looking at pivoting, they've listened to this and this is exactly what they needed to spark that, okay, stop wasting the time and start
Yeah.
really tapping in and to optimize the strengths that you have within you to be able to look at what's possible and what's different and how you can shape this so that maybe, like a lot of service-based providers are a little quieter during the summer months
Mm-hmm.
and, we're kind of gearing up for the fall again. Is there some words of wisdom that you can give them to get the wheels turning?
Yeah. And those are, you're never going to feel ready. You just aren't. You're not going to wake up one day and think today's the perfect day to take this scary leap. You're just not. It's almost like if you've ever, I don't know, jumped off a high dive as a little kid or something, you feel scared doing it. And then you hit the water and everything's fine. Well, sometimes, your swimsuit bottoms fall off and you get water up your nose. But you're ultimately okay. And guess what? Scaling your business, you're going to have those moments that feel messy and still feel a little scary and that are unexpected. That's why I'm a huge fan of navigating through that season with the port, who can help you to move past those moments faster and not stay in those spaces. But you're never going to feel this deep inner sense of readiness. So what you need to pay attention to is the call, that inner call towards something different, and simply summon the courage. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is feeling the fear and taking a step forward.
That's right. That's so good. So good. And if somebody wants support, needs support, how can they work with you and find you?
Oh, I got a bunch of different ways that we can work together. So probably simplest is to find me. And I can't remember if we talked about this beforehand, but if anyone wants to send me a message, I will get you a guide that will help you to at least get some clues as to what a scalable offer could be for you and leverage AI to help do that. You can just message me. I think I maybe thought of a word before this, but you could just say podcast offer. Just DM me that over on Instagram. I'm at Ask AnnMarie Rose, AskAnnMarie. Find me over on Instagram. DM me that. I'll get you. I normally sell this guide for $27. I'll get you a code so that you can grab it and play around with some scalable offer ideas for you. And we can chat. We can chat deeper. I'll also give you my email so you can pop that in the show notes if people are like, this sounds great, but I'm not over on Instagram. Show up in my inbox and we can chat.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that those are all the details in the show notes.
Yeah, that's probably the simplest way to do it because my website's going through a bit of a transformation. That's the other final word of wisdom, that transformation is never sexy. So just like I just did, like I have things happening behind the scenes and I didn't wait to hop on this and have this conversation with you until all that was done. No, we don't need to wait. You can do it now and you become a permission slip for everybody else to do it too.
That's so good. Such good words of wisdom. And I hope people heard from this conversation that there's not one approach to any of this. There's so many different ways to look at what's scalable, to look at offers that make sense to who you are and how you serve best, and to, really tap in and to believe to your own strengths and that you are the expert in your field and that you should be able to tap into that and shine in a different way if you so choose. So thank you so much for your time. I loved this conversation and I know we will keep following each other and stay in touch for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of the Online Creator Podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the show yet, please do so on your favorite media player. And come check us out over on YouTube, where you'll have full access to our episodes on video there. You can check out the important links mentioned in today's episode in the show notes. And please join the conversation over on Instagram at May and James Co. I'll see you next week.